I believe that Coq Inu is an amazing meme coin. Now, why is that? It's because reaching a market cap of $5 billion during this bull run, hypothetically speaking, that right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, even though that's not financial advice or a guarantee. But you got to think about this, right? Coq Inu, it's pretty much a big fish in a small pond. What do I mean by that? If you take a look at Avalanche, again, Coq Inu is an Avalanche meme coin. Avalanche hasn't really gained that attention yet. It hasn't really gained that mass retail FOMO like a Solana, for instance, or like an Ethereum. But eventually, hypothetically, I think it could happen because Avalanche is very amazing. But before I get into that, you got to think about this. When it comes to Coq Inu, it's pretty much the number one meme coin on Avalanche. That's the way to take a look at it. In terms of hype, in terms of fans, in terms of community, and also in terms of exposure, I would argue that it's the best. So, can you imagine what's going to happen to Coq Inu once Avalanche gains that mass attention during this bull run? I think it's going to go along with the ride. We've seen this time and time again. We've seen Dog with Hat go along with the ride when it comes to Solana. Also, we saw something like Book a Meme. You know, if those meme coins went along with the ride as Solana grew, I don't see why something like Coq Inu won't grow along with the ride as well when it comes to Avalanche. And again, it's kind of crazy to think about how we're seeing pretty much the number one meme coin on Avalanche, but the market cap is still relatively low. And going to a $5 billion market cap, that right there is around a 52x from here. Kind of crazy to think about. If you consider how Dogecoin reached over 80 billion, in the past, we've seen Shiba Inu reach around 40 billion. 5 billion is so minuscule in the grand scheme of things for a meme coin, in my opinion. And yet, still even despite that, that's over a 50x from here. I mean, caralho, porra, that's insane. It's amazing. That's the way I view it. I think it's pretty much a hidden gem because people haven't really seen just how special it is, but hypothetically, it could be amazing because you take a look at Avalanche, it's just a lot better than the competition. You take a look at, okay, Solana is great, I understand that, but at one point it did experience 8 different network outages in just a time span of a year. So, that's not all that dynamic in my opinion. Also on top of that, you take a look at Ethereum, sky-high gas fees. It's arguably not even scalable. So that's complete caca. Even despite the Ethereum layer 2s that kind of fixes this, I think that's a no bueno in my opinion. So Avalanche is a lot better than its competitors in my opinion, but then at the same time, it hasn't gained that mass scale attention yet. Man, it could be so fantastic, especially when it comes to Coq Inu. If something again like Book a Meme can go along with the ride, I don't see why something like Coq Inu won't go along with the ride when it comes to Avalanche. Think about this, right? This is just my mentality. It's an analogy that I have. John Cena, he learned how to speak Mandarin. And he's speaking Mandarin pretty good. So for me, as of right now, I'm learning Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Why can't I speak Portuguese as well? If anything, I would hope that one day my Portuguese becomes better than my English. Why not? Even though English is my first language, I don't see why, through dedication and hard work, I can't speak amazing Portuguese and have better Portuguese than my English. You know what I mean? That's just the mentality I have. If John Cena can speak Mandarin, I'll be able to speak Portuguese too. The way you take a look at it is that if Book a Meme can go along with the ride when it comes to Solana, then why can't Coq Inu go along with the ride as Avalanche does go up? That's just the way I view it. Now, here's the thing. People oftentimes like to say that, oh yeah, this bull run is going to be complete trash and caca though. Well, I disagree, to be honest, because when there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, this bull run is clearly not going to be caca or bad by any means. In the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Could you imagine that? Now we pretty much have double that, right? So this bull run could be a lot more dynamic in my opinion, but it's going to take some time. Yes, we see Bitcoin have such a massive rally, but we haven't seen Ethereum reach the price of $10,000 yet. We haven't seen Cardano's native token reach the price of $5 yet. We haven't seen HBAR at the price of $1. We haven't seen Caspa at the price of even $1. I think this bull run is far from over. And if you take a look at the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, it's not even fully bullish. We haven't seen the best yet, in my opinion. And even historically speaking, there's still time. As a worst case scenario, altcoins, they've been known to peak, again, as a worst case, around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. That would mean around October of next year because the last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April. So there's still plenty of time, in my opinion, for something like Coq Inu to showcase what it's capable of. Has it had a major pullback? Absolutely. The price action isn't looking necessarily the best, even despite, around an 8 to 10% pump to date, right? Even despite that, it's kind of minuscule. So I still think there's ways to go. Coq Inu did once great. You know what I mean? But then I think it's going to do a lot better hypothetically in the future. I think that the comeback is going to be greater than its setback. That's just the way you take a look at it. And again, it's going to take some time, but I'm willing to stay patient because I'm in the world of cryptocurrency anyways. If anything, I'm going to continue to dollar cost average, acquire anytime an income, hold, and I just wait. That's it, because I'm not a day trader. I'm not using leverage. I'm not swing trading. I could care less about this type of stuff. Not to mention, you take a look at Coq Inu has excellent exposure, listed in pretty good major exchanges. Now, am I saying that it has the best exposure out there for a meme coin? Absolutely not. Come on, right? But still, it's pretty decent and it's heading in the right direction. And as more and more exchanges do list Coq Inu, it could very well have this domino effect, or should I say snowball effect, as, more and more exchanges list it, others could follow suit. Again, get it? Snowball effect, and then it's an avalanche meme coin. You get the pun there. But yeah, besides that point, I think when it comes to Coq Inu, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. An avalanche, quite essentially kind of like a snowball effect. Again, I don't see why Coq Inu won't have that during this bull run, especially with more and more exchange listings. And this is very crucial because you take a look at why was Dogecoin and Shiba Inu so popular? It's because they were literally listed pretty much everywhere. And I think, if anything, Coq Inu is a great example as to why a meme coin doesn't need to become the next Shiba Inu or Dogecoin in order to be considered a major success. Because, again, a $5 billion market cap is already over 50x from here. Now, is Coq Inu going to be the best performing meme coin out there during this bull run? I would argue no, because there's going to be many microcaps out there that are going to defeat Coq Inu. I totally understand that. But does it matter? No, because in my opinion, a microcap is so risky. I don't want to dabble with that. I'd much rather choose something like Coq Inu, which is a relatively proven product, because you take a look at community is pretty strong, exposure is great. So again, it's relatively proven, but then at the same time, it's not too low where the risk is very high, but it's not too massive. It's not a dinosaur like a Shiba Inu or Dogecoin where the room for growth is completely caca. You know what I mean? So when it comes to Coq Inu, it's a perfect balance in between, and I don't mind, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a 1000x. I'm not looking for a 500x. I could care less about that. Anything over a 10x when it comes to my portfolio, I'd be very happy already. I'd be jumping up and down, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. At least that's the way I take a look at it. Now, of course it matters, but I could care less about like a 500x, for instance. That's what I mean by that. But even besides that, again, all I got to do is just stay patient, continue to acquire, hold, and I just wait, because I think this board could be so special. Avalanche, it's going to do its thing. When something is that amazing, I think good things are bound to happen. And also on top of that, when I take a look at Coq Inu, not to mention, it's very unique in a sense because we don't really see many, I would say like poultry or like chicken theme meme coins, I would say. Coq Inu is pretty much the pioneer. So the fact that it's pretty much number one as a meme coin on Avalanche, but then the name is so unique, that's very impressive. And as a meme coin, that is needed because naturally it doesn't have a good use case, a lot of meme coins, and naturally isn't very revolutionary. So it's a game of inches. They have to set themselves apart through a cool factor, having a cool and unique name, a cool and unique logo. So that's very vital because a meme coin can't really attack an angle of a good use case. Just think about this, right? Like, for instance, imagine judging an NBA player's ability based on his ability to like paint a picture or something like that. Like, that's not relevant. You know what I mean? So it's not necessary. It's a good, okay bonus though, because if you take a look at, for instance, Coq Inu on its ecosystem, there are community projects related to NFTs, DeFi, and gaming. So that's okay, but it's not really necessary in my opinion. It's interesting, but again, it's not necessary for a meme coin because I think even if we remove that aspect, Coq Inu is good enough as a standalone meme coin to achieve hypothetical success. So this is just a good bonus. It's kind of like putting gold flakes in steak or like ice cream. It doesn't change the taste whatsoever. It makes things kind of complicated to eat because it's like sticky and whatnot. There's no point for that. But again, it's a good addition. It looks cool. So why not, But I don't think it's going to be a major driving force for Coq Inu moving forward. And also not to mention when it comes to Coq Inu, despite the caca pullback, or should I say the pretty big pullback, despite that, holders are still holding up pretty strong. So it's fine, in my opinion. I think it's a proven meme coin, and I really like that. And again, at a $5 billion market cap during this bull run, I don't see why not. If something like Luna Classic can find a bottom and pump, if something like Litecoin can pump in 2021 especially, if something like Dog with Hat, Book a Meme, Pepe, I just don't see why Coq Inu won't at least do okay during this bull run. That's just my opinion. And again, a $5 billion market cap wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Malik the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.